Backstory. So I work at a fairly large farm store in my town as I pay pretty fairly. I'm at the register and my co-worker is locking up the hunting goods section. They have a giant metal gate, like you would see in the front of a mall when the person manning that area goes home for the night. Then, a young man, maybe 14 to 15, steps through the sliding glass door with his mother, maybe 35 to 37, claiming they need roofing nails. Characters. Me, the op. Co-worker. M. Entitled mother. Ec. Entitled kid. M. Manager. The aftermath. So the mom and son walked in claiming to be looking for some nails, so I tell them what aisle they are in politely. Co was walking around with his notebook writing down stocks that we needed more of, and I seemed like a normal night. That is until I hear from a squeaky puberty voice. Hey, put me down, you pervert. Co, give me back the knife and it'll let go. Ec, no, you get the hell off of me before I call the cops. Co, I can call them right now and get you in trouble for shoplifting. Ec, mom, this 60-year-old man is trying to kidnap me. Co, I'm 19, not 60. Just because I dyed my hair white for Halloween doesn't mean I'm 60. M, get the F off my baby before I get the manager. So Co presses his walkie-talkie button and I walk over to the aisle and see if I can assess the situation. M, good. Are you the manager? Me, I'm sorry but I'm going to have to ask your son to give back the knife and for you to let go of my coworker or I'm going to have to call the authorities. M, why is a 15-year-old girl working here? Don't you have somewhere else to go? There are firearms and sharp things here. At this point I'm starting to get a little frustrated at her, because even though I look young I'm 17 and nearly everyone assumes I'm 16 to 17 except for a few like M. Me, mom, I've been raised around hunting and knives my whole life. Selling them and helping people with them is no different. I'm also sorry to point out that I'm 17, not 15. M, then show me your ID. Me, I don't have to show you anything. Then I press the button for the manager to come to our aisle. M, hello Op and Co. What's the problem here? Me, well this mother and son are harassing us and the son has stolen one of the knee. M, this man is trying to kidnap my baby and I think this young woman here is being forced to work. M, I'm glad to say that Op is of age and Co is not trying to kidnap your baby, but I heard over the radio chatter that a knife has been stolen. M, this knife was on the floor unpackaged, so I thought it was someone's that was dropped. M, so you give it to your teenage son? M, well done. These perverts are always looking for kids to take. Me and Co have been close since our parents met, and he can barely stand his brother. Why would he want another kid? M, probably to sell for his drug addiction. Co, I don't have a drug addiction and I think it's time I just take this knife out of your son's hand, so this whole issue is over. Soon after Co takes the knife and hands it to the manager. M, if this was found on the floor, then why is the plastic tip still on it? M, I guess it's just from the guy being safe. Me, mom, I strongly recommend you leave before we contact the police. Soon after she leaves grumbling about having to go to a bigger brand. Starts with an L and its logo is a blue house. M, you effing city dorks, go back to playing your games. Me, mom, I've been raised in the country and I will die in the country. You're not country because you're literally carrying around a hydro flask. Just shut up and get out of here. M, you disrespectful bitch. You need to be taught how to respect your elders. Me, was that a threat? Because I can easily pull up the cameras and fork it over to the police. M and X scamper out of the building and we lock the door so we can clean up for the night. Thanks for reading. I'm currently getting it all from Co and he told me about the convo that ensued after I heard the kid scream. I'll try to keep you updated. So back to my church, filled with entitled parents, and my sister who is about to graduate. And I'm a year behind her, so I'm in the 11th grade. In the church, they hold a party for the graduating class. Really nice, except the 11th graders are supposed to provide the food. They had an excuse, but I didn't mind that. But what I did mind was the 11th graders were expected to sever the adults there, like they were slaves. No, we weren't paid, and we got the leftover food after everyone had picked at it and was cold. And we were told to be thankful. We were supposed to run around offering drinks, cleaning up after everyone and such. I wasn't having that. This church already thought my family was trash and I knew it would just tickle them pink to see my acting like a slave. So I told my nana I would bring food but not serve. She said she didn't care and it was fine. So I went with my sister and stuck with her. I bought in the food, went to the sermon, and went with my sister when she went to eat. We basically stuck together the whole time because like I said they looked down on my family and a lot of them didn't feel like asking my sister about her plans for school or if she's moving or about her future. But do you know who they did talk to? Me. Why aren't you serving? It's your job. You have to serve. Multiple adults were distressed because I wasn't doing what they wanted. I just looked at them and said if you wanted a maidservant, you should have paid for one. They went silent and walked away, tail between their legs, which only confirmed my thoughts that they only saw me as workforce. And before you say, didn't that happen when you were a 12th grader? No it didn't. The 11th graders brought food, but my class absolutely refused to let them serve us. We even hid in the kitchen to avoid it. We got our own food and drink. The adults however had no problem with the kids severing them. And why am I posting so much? I'm supposed to be cleaning my apartment, and I'm avoiding it. I have type 1 diabetes, the type where you are born with it, and so I was at my friend's house when he wanted to know if I wanted to sleep over. I said sure, but I needed to get a few things first. Mind you this the 90s and I'm 12 in this story, so I grabbed my Game Boy, my pillow, Super Mario 3, Pokemon Yellow Edition, and my diabetes medicine. Now onto the story. We started by watching A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and The Return of the GD. Then we watched them in the opposite order to catch any Easter eggs or something like that. It is now midnight, so Em asks me if I want any snacks. So I say yes, but nothing with high sugar levels. Em asks why, so I tell her that I have diabetes. That was a mistake. Now she starts talking about how I shouldn't be eating so much, that I get diabetes at age 12, so I thought she had a point, and she just didn't know what kind of diabetes it was, so I told her it was just type 1, and she started talking about how she doesn't care if it's type 1, type 2 or even type 4. So I had to explain to her what it was, and that calmed her down. Then she threw out my medicine thinking I didn't need it because my body was already used to it or some other bullcrap I don't really remember. So I ended up going home, telling my mom and still being friends with the kid, but never going back to his house. If you made it this far, thanks for reading. This is my first actual post on Reddit. I've been a lurker for a while and finally found this subreddit and decided to tell you guys this horror show of a sleepover. I couldn't decide if it should go here or r/Chussing beggars. You know the cast. Karen equals EM, Spawn, 5 years old, equals EK, Mr. Squir, Ariel equals DH, and Squir, Ariel equals ME. So we were at a charity tournament that had a basket raffle. You buy tickets, put one in the paper bag, and keep the other, so you know your numbers. Some really nice items, but we will focus on a soft as a cloud handmade blow-lap Afghan. DH won the blanket. Enter Karen. M/marching over you know. Spawn really wanted to win that. Yeah all my tickets went into that one. / looks over with crocodile tears at DH/ me. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe we. You should give it to her Yano. She wanted to win. DH, but look, this is perfect to cover my legs in the wheelchair. / wailing starts / well Spawn, I guess you don't get it. Some people don't realize you are just a kid / glaring at me / me. I'm sorry Spawn. Well you didn't pay for it I wanted it. Me. Well, we did buy tickets so yes, we did pay for it. Just make your own and starts to reach for it. Me. / stands in front of DH to block her / no. DH. Spawn. I won this. You can't just take it. Come along Spawn. You know we are broke. We will skip having dinner and I will buy you a blanket at the store. / glares at the two of us / DH. / quietly after they walked away Yano. I would have given it to her if she didn't demand it. This might sound pretty fake, but I swear this is real. So my mom is really close with this family and I'm pretty much forced to hang out with their son, Ek. I should mention that M said we have to treat Ek like a brother and follow him wherever goes and must have his way. This one weekend about a year ago, me and my friend went on a bike ride with his cousin and of course Ek had to join in. Anyway, we all met up in the park and hung out there for a while until lunch. We all wanted to go to Subway except Ek, who threw a temper tantrum demanding Starbucks. So we biked over to the plaza and went to get Starbucks. We were approaching Starbucks and there a red light. So we told him to wait, but of course he didn't listen and ran the red. So we had to chase after him doing. So we almost died about 2 times. We arrived at Starbucks and the Ek had no money and demanded we gave him some, but we only had enough for ourselves. So we respectfully said we couldn't. So we had ridden to his house so he could break into the piggy bank instead. He starts screaming at his parents to give him money and it got so bad they had to close the door. After about a half hour he came out with cash to get his Starbucks. He arrived there and he ordered one of their sandwiches. I forgot which one. And they were out. So surprise surprise, he threw another tantrum. He finally cooled off and chose something else. We ate our meals and went back to the park. Ek found a forest opening and shot in that direction. We followed him and it turns out it was a pretty nice trail. There was another opening and it didn't look the cleanest, but of course he went in there. We were in there for a while and he stumbled across a barn with a liquid inside of it. My friend, who is a germaphobe, freaked out. Ek saw this and started saying he would pour it on him. My friend got on his bike and before he could, Ek poured the whole thing on him. My friend freaked out and started screaming at Ek. Once he cooled down he went to his house to drop him off and tell his mom what had happened. We arrived at Ek's residence and told them what had happened. I'm going to put this in dialogue now to give you a rough idea of how this went down. Me, hi M, your son had been throwing fits left and right and poured what seems to be drugs on my friend. M, I don't see the problem here. He was just fooling off with you guys trying to have fun. Me, but it could have been drugs and very poisonous. It also doesn't excuse him from throwing temper tantrums. M, why won't you let him enjoy himself? Again, I don't see the problem here. M, and why didn't you give him money to buy food? You have to put my little angel in front of yourself. At this point, I couldn't reason with her, so I told I have to be back home now and left. And that's pretty much where this story ends. I have more stories for this specific Ek and M. If I see people enjoy this, I'll share more of these. Thank you for watching. Slap that like button and comment your opinion on these stories below. I'm waiting. Write that comment. Seriously. Have you written it yet? If you don't comment, you make a bunny cry somewhere. You're not that kind of person. I know. Anyways, peace out and catch you tomorrow.